Hello everyone, this is Mr. Market Switch. I'm very happy to be here with you once again, and I'm very super excited to take you through episode number 3 of Market Makers Codes. But before we proceed, guys, I want to read to you the disclaimer of this channel. I know that you guys understand the disclaimer of Forex market, but what I want to do right now is to read it to you the disclaimer of this channel. By viewing any material or using the information within this channel, you agree that it is general educational material, and you will not hold anybody responsible for loss or damages resulting from the content provided here by the Forex trading coach or mentor or any of its staff or employees. Future options and spot currency trading have large potential rewards, but also large potential risk, guys. So you must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the futures, options, or currency markets. Don't trade with money that you cannot afford to lose. I'll repeat again, guys. Don't trade with money that you cannot afford to lose. This channel is neither a solicitation nor an offer to buy or sell futures, options, or currencies. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those discussed on this channel or in any of its material. The past performance, remember guys, the past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. So guys, I've seen that it's very important for me to read this disclaimer to you so that we may go together. You know, Forex is a very high risk business, so disclaimer must be in place. Alright guys, today is a wonderful day because we are having episode number 4, and I'm very much excited because I know the things that we are going to cover in this episode number 4 are things that are going to add value on your trading career. I understand that you guys have been with me from episode number 1, and this time we have episode number 4 right now, and in this episode number 4 we are determined to cover the number of issues here, including what do you do when there is breakout zones on opposite direction. Of course, maybe there is a fake or true breakout. You have zone, sell zone or buy zone, but unfortunately you see that the trader has made a breakout on opposite direction of the zone. Number 2, does market makers codes work for every pair? That's one we're going to discuss about it. Number 3, how to use one pair to see an opportunity or another pair. How can you use what you see on one pair, on one currency pair, to understand or to know that what is going to happen on another pair somewhere else. Number 4, the best way to calculate your volume or your lot size in the forex market according to your capital. Alright guys, I've come across numbers of questions from different people asking how much lot size can I use, or how much volume can I apply in my capital. So I have seen it's very important for me to explain more about this because I can see a lot of people are struggling out there. They do not know what they can do, or how much lot size or what lot size they can apply in their trading. Alright guys, and today I'm very much sure that most of you are going now to take another step ahead in knowing, in understanding more about market makers codes, guys. Why? Because the last 3 episodes are not enough for you to say that I have now mastered the market makers codes. Remember, I said we have a series of episodes. It's not something that you can just lay in a single day and then you say you have mastered everything. It's not like that. You know, if it was easy like that, everybody could be doing this. But guys, I'm telling you this because I know this thing is not easy. It's something that you have to practice. It's something that you have to prove, and before you apply it in your really account. All right, guys. You see, so far today is Friday, you know, And so far we have proved beyond doubt that market makers goals works. And I want to show you some of the pairs that we have been trading in the VIP signal channel, and I gave these signals to my VIP members, and they made a lot of pips out of this, and they made a lot of money out of these setups. But you see what I have prepared this setup using market makers codes. I have given out this signal using market makers codes. Guys, now you can see here we have EURUSD. If you can see EURUSD right now, you can see how much we were correct on this setup. You can see this was Monday, this was Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So let's say this is not there right now. Let's say this one is not there, because remember, market makers codes, we make our analysis during weekend. Let's say this is not there. Let's assume this is not there, or this was not there on Friday when we made this, on weekend when we made this analysis. This was our highest point. Remember, this was our highest point, and the highest point reached by the market. The second highest point was somewhere here. It is not very clear, but it's somewhere here. It just being shown by the wicks that you can see around this place. But it was somewhere there. That was the second high. So this area you see up here is a sell zone, or was a sell zone. And the lowest point in the past 10 days, remember this demarcation, we put this demarcation in the past 10 days of what market have been doing. So the lowest point was this one. This was the lowest point reached by the market in the 10 days, and this one the second lowest point reached by the market in the past 10 days. All right, guys, so this was our analysis during last weekend. Now when we come back and see what happens after our analysis during weekend, we can see what the market has done. We can see that the market has respected our setup and has gone just exactly the direction that we anticipated when we did our analysis. So we said that since the market is now around this area, it was just around this, the market closed around this area here. So we were sure that the only thing that the market could do is to come back and make a retest, to come back. And remember, the market closed at this point, so the only possible direction of the market was to make a retest on this sell zone before falling down. But see what happened. The market went down the way we predicted, but it made another retest. We call it multiple retest. And after the second retest of the sell zone, it went down. It went down big times. Now I want you to calculate the pips. The market went down to about 93 pips. So someone who was very patient enough to wait until the market reached at this level, that means that that person could have made 93 profitable pips. So you can see, guys, this market makers codes works. The only person who can say this doesn't work is the person who is not well enough, who is not well enough up there. You see, guys, it works, and you can just go through and make an evaluation and see how perfect this thing work. You see, guys, you know, for most of you, I know that you see that it doesn't work because you just take some few pips, 5 pips, then when you see the market comes back up this point, you are out and you now start complaining. But as I told you guys, give it time. Just use your demo account. place your orders there, wait and see. Just wait patiently and see how this one is going to make you a good money. After that, you have developed a confidence to apply and to hold a position until it reaches its targets. You see, guys, not only that, we also had Euro JPY. Euro JPY, you see what? This was a Euro JPY, Euro Japanese yen. Euro Japanese yen also responded just the way we analyzed it. And I brought this, I gave this signal to my VIP members, and they made a lot of money out of this. Actually, I did make a lot of money out of this pair too. So guys, you can see now we have Euro JPY. This is Euro JPY. We had the sell zone up there, and we had the buy zone up down here, and you can see it just responded exactly the way we wanted to do. You see, from this point, it made a retest on this point, then it went down big times. It went down big time. It hasn't reached yet at the final target, but up to this point, you would have made also 93.2 pips. You see, sometimes, most of times, Euro USD and Euro Japanese yen, they move together, they correlate. So when they move, most of the time they move together. It doesn't mean that the correlation is uniform in every single week or every day. The correlation keeps on changing. The correlation keeps on changing due to the factors that are affecting the economy of each country. You see, so there are numbers of things. Also, there are issues of fundamentals. If one currency pair among Euro JPY or Euro USD is affected more, you can see the difference. For example, if JPY, Japanese yen, has got a fundamental, and maybe Japanese yen is strong, it has become very strong against USD, you can see Euro JPY will be moving down big times compared to Euro USD. So Euro USD will be somewhere in between. But if there is no anything that affects these two pairs, USD and the JPY, you can see if it is paired with Euro, you can see that there will be a kind of correlation among these pairs. That's why you can see the same number of pips made on Euro JPY is the same number of pips made in Euro USD in a bearish market. So guys, this is Euro USD and Euro Japanese yen, and we made a lot of money out of this. Not only that, we also had Swiss franc Japanese yen. Swiss franc Japanese yen, you can see Swiss franc Japanese yen. You can see our TP1, TP2, TP3 were all smashed, and you can see the market went down big times. Remember, our analysis was just based on this point to this point, but you can see TP1 smashed, TP2 smashed, TP3 smashed, and it kept going. When it went down big times to 161.80 Fibonacci. So guys, this is how powerful market makers calls. The only person who is crazy can say that market makers codes doesn't work. If you are crazy, you are the only person who can say that market makers codes doesn't work. But for me, I see this works. The problem is we have numbers of people out there who want the instant result when they learn something. Remember guys, this is forex. If it was easy like that, all billionaires in the world could put their money in the forex market. But because this takes time, this needs time, and it involves a high risk, that's why you can see we have few number of people, and of course if there are billionaires who have put their money in there, that means they are also very careful in the action that they are taking in the market. So guys, you can see this is how it works. Today I'm just using my I've decided to use my broken English because I have got a lot of message. People want me to use English instead of Swahili, and I think, guys, let me proceed with my broken English, because I think there are people out there in the other country who want also to learn market to make us quotes. And very unfortunately, we are in the episode number 4, and episode number 1, 2, 3, we are all in mixture of English and Swahili, but they are just going to enjoy this episode number 4 because they can also at least understand me with my broken English once they go through this episode number 4. All right, guys, so this is market makers quotes. Now, we have a scenario here, guys. We have a scenario here, and I want to take you through this scenario because, guys, this is very important. This is very important. This is very important. We have some difficult questions that people can ask, and I think, guys, if these questions are not well answered, I think we will just get the same problem over and over and over again. But today, I think I'm going to answer these questions so that, guys, you can be free and be able to proceed. Question number 1: what do you do when there is a breakout of zones on the opposite direction? Now, let me take an example of USD Swiss franc, the one that we used the previous time to analyze the market, and I'm going to use exactly the same setup. So that I can explain more about this, guys. I want to explain more about this because it's very important. It's very important for me, and it's very important for you guys, so that you can understand what to do when this happens, when this kind of scenario happens. Now, we heard our setup here. This is USD Swiss franc, and you can see this was the past 10 days. This demarcation here, this was a horizontal line, this was a vertical line, vertical line, and this one was vertical line, and now this separates the market, and this demarcation show the market, what the market have been doing in the past 10 days. Remember this, we made this analysis during the weekend. That means last Friday, before this one, before what has happened here. Remember, this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So this is what has happened within this week, and this is what is still happening today. Here is Friday, so you can see the market is not moving, is not having a very good volatility because it's a good Friday, and we are in a sort of holiday, so a lot of banks are closed, but maybe we can see some movement from New York opening later. But for the time being, I want to explain the scenario. What do you do when you face this kind of scenario? Remember, we made our analysis during the weekend, that was Friday, and we saw that we have the highest point reached by the market within 10 days, and this is the second high. And from this, we expected that the market would do some kind of retest on this sell zone before going down. But unfortunately, you can see it went up a little bit up there near to the sell zone to make some retest there, but it went down. And after moving down a little bit, it also went back as if it is going to do some multiple retests, but it made a breakout. And sometimes people thought that maybe this was a false breakout, maybe it could go down, but it kept going up and up and up and up and up. Now, the most important question is, why this kind of scenario? Why this kind of scenario? What do I do when this happens? Remember, guys, we take a trade. We take a trade just near a sell zone or a buy zone, which means your stop loss will be somewhere out of somewhere out of the sell zone, out of the zones in the opposite direction. Maybe because this was because this was a sell setup or bearish setup, that means our stop loss would be somewhere here. You see, guys, and that means after this retest here, this kind of move up there, you can see that means it was just 25 pips from where you could take your trade for bearish market. That means 25 pips. That was supposed to be your stop loss, guys. That is number one. Now we made an analysis on this, and the analysis showed us that this one is supposed to go down, supposed to be a bearish market, and the final target of this one, this was supposed to be a final target, and the pips targeted in here were about 81 pips. 81 pips were targeted on this setup, but we can see a very strange scenario here. It came back and made a breakout, and it kept going up and up for how many pips? We have about 100 pips. 100 pips again. That is not just that is 100 pips is not a false breakout. 100 pips is a change of trend. 100 pips is a true breakout and a change, a total change of trend. Now, what do you do now when you have this kind of scenario? You see, guys, we don't make decision based on one criteria. There are people who are making decisions just because they see a stochastic is overbought or oversold. That is not enough for you guys to make a decision. You have to be very careful. Please go through my episode number 1, episode number 2, number 3. I've been emphasizing that you guys should consider everything to make a decision. Don't just use one scenario or one criteria to make your decision in the forex market. I've also come across a person who has made a comment that you see, I have taken a trade, it was overbought, but when I sold it, it kept going up. It kept going up. You see, we don't make a decision based on an indicator only. We have to combine everything to make a decision in the forex market. So you have to put everything in place before you make your decision. You have to collect as enough evidences as possible and take your trade in the forex market, guys. Maybe I should repeat this. Collect as many evidences as possible before you trigger your position in the market. Do you understand what I'm saying, guys? Now let's go and see what happened on this package. You can see we had this. This was what? This was USD Swiss franc. This was USD Swiss franc, guys, and we thought like since it is somewhere here, it was this was 4 hours, and people thought that because it was maybe on this area of about, maybe it was the time for it to fall down, to go down, to move down, but it kept going up and up and up. And when you go to daily, you can see it still had a chance to keep moving, and when you go to weekly, you can see it's still moving up and up and up. Now, but we don't go up to weekly because that is too far, guys. That is too far. The only place where we retail traders can focus on is 15 minutes time frame, 1 hour, 4 hour, and sometimes daily, but not necessarily. So now, what do you do when there is this kind of scenario? There are two things to do, guys. There are two things to do, because in this case we have a true breakout and a false breakout. So the first thing, in order for you to be safe, you have to apply a stop loss. A stop loss must be at the place where I have just indicated. Number two, make sure that you have confirmed your trade. You have confirmed your trade with. You have confirmed your entry with a confirmation trend line. A confirmation trend line is drawn connecting the lowest of the highest, and the place where the market has just closed. The place where the market has just closed. This we call confirmation trend line. Don't bother yourself about these things that are happening there. So you have to connect. You have to connect there. You have to connect there. You see, guys. So you can see. So this one went up. You can see went up there, and it closed at this place at this point. The market closed at this point here, and it went down when the market opened. It went down a little bit, and it went up as a kind of retest on this confirmation trend line, but some few, maybe 3 to 5 pips. Then it made a breakout above this confirmation trend line. It kept going up. So I want you guys to understand something here. When you see that there is a breakout on the confirmation trend line, when there is a breakout on the confirmation trend on opposite direction, and the market has come back to the sell zone. When you see this kind of scenario, that the market has come back to the sell zone, wait. You should wait until the market made a breakout of sell zone in the intended direction, this direction. Once you see that breakout, wait until you see another breakout on the confirmation trend line and a retest. And you can see the market went back to sell zone, and it went back. It made a breakout on the sell zone as if it is going down, and it also made a breakout on the confirmation trend line. And it moved as if it is coming to make a retest on the confirmation trend, but it went up. It went up and made a breakout on the sell zone on opposite direction. Once you see this kind of scenario, guys, that means for someone who has applied a proper risk management would have been already taken out of the market. Just leave this trade. Wait. Leave this trade. Wait until you see if it is a true breakout or a false breakout. Now, how do you know that if it is a true breakout or a false breakout? If this breakout here, if the market could move back into the sell zone and make a breakout on the sell zone and retest on the confirmation trend line and move down, that means we could also confirm that this one is a false breakout. So when do you take a trade in such kind of scenario? You take a trade after you see the market has moved back into the sell zone and made a breakout. So you wait until a breakout here and retest on the confirmation trend line or on the sell zone, then you take a trade or on the bearish side. But you can see after this breakout here, there was no a comeback. The market kept moving up and up and up for about 100 pips. So guys, what I would suggest is you should get out of this trade and wait until next weekend, until the end of the week. So at the end of the week, you do another analysis by now taking a new high, which I think if the market close at this point here, that means a new high will be this one, and the second high will be somewhere here or somewhere maybe somewhere here. This will be a new high and the second high, and the low. Now you count 10 days back. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So the new low will be somewhere here. New low will be somewhere here, and second low will be somewhere there. So we have a new high and we have a new low. So guys, you just move with this like that, like that, like that. So this is a forex market. There is no a holy strategy in the forex market. You cannot find a holy strategy. We just looking at the accuracy, at the percentage of accuracy. If you come across the strategy that is accurate 75 to 95%, that is the best strategy to take. There is no a holy strategy, a holy grail strategy. The strategies that you are using here are not perfect 100%, guys, and that's why we put a disclaimer in the forex market. Do you understand what I'm saying, guys? That's very important for you to note down and to make sure that you make a follow-up and guys, you do what is right. You do what is right and make good money. Now, guys, another question we have already done on that, and I think it's going to help you guys. So, what do you do in this kind of scenario? Number one, you have to check if it is a true breakout or a false breakout, and I've already explained how. Number two, you should apply a proper risk management. You should put a stop loss in the right place so that if the market goes against you, you are safe. Number three, wait. You see, in this market makers coach, we have three things. We have two things. We have wait. We have three things. We have sell strongly, wait, buy strongly. We have sell strongly. That means if you are at sell zone, wait if you are somewhere at the middle or somewhere out of the sell zone or buy zone, wait. And we have buy strongly if you are at the buy zone. You see, guys, so that's very important, very, very simple, and you can also make use of what I've just explained. All right, guys. What was the question number two? Question number two: does market makers codes work for every pair? You see, market makers codes can work in a lot of environment. I mean, in the forex market, but this was designed specifically for currency trading, all currency pairs. Because we have different dealers. You see, we have different kind of dealers and liquidity provider in this market. Because we have forex market where we trade currency, but we have option. We have commodities. We have futures. We have equity. We have a lot of things out there. So I'm talking to you because I know there are numbers of people who are trading options, are trading binary, binary option, of course. They are trading commodities, they are trading futures. So they are asking if this kind of strategy can work for them too. But what I can say is this kind of strategy so far, it has been proven to work better on currency. You can just try to apply it in other areas, but I have not done it yet. But for me, I can say that you guys focus on the currency. Focus on the currency. We have a lot of currency pairs. We have major currency and we have crosses. We also have exotic. But it works for all. It works for all. You can see it perform well on major currency pairs. It perform well also on cross pairs, exotic pairs, and so many others. So guys, you should focus on that. That's very simple, and I think I should not focus more of my time on that because it's very simple and I've just explained. Now, guys, I want to use this simple thing to explain to you something very valuable. We have number 3 question here: how to use one pair to see an opportunity on another pair. You see, I have just I explained this on my book. I've written a little book, a little article. Of course, it's not a complete book because it is just like an article. It's about my strategy. I have my own strategy which you can also combine with the other strategy out there. My strategy is known by market switch theory. It's a kind of theory that explains how the market switch from one pair to another pairs in the issue of correlations. So guys, I will just talk a little bit about this, and I'll just explain to you a vivid example that you can use on this part. Okay, many of you guys have seen the impact, how JPY has been very strong in the market this week. You see, if you go through JPY pairs, you can see CHF JPY was selling big times, Euro JPY was selling big times, GBP JPY was selling. The only one which was not selling big times was USD JPY, which I believe it's going to switch soon. It's going to switch very soon because it has to follow what the other JPY pairs was doing. It is one of the switching pair that I'm waiting for, and that's why if you are in my general group, I also gave this kind of setup and I told people to sell massively. I believe that USD JPY is going to sell. It's going to sell massively because it has to follow what other JPY pair has been doing. Another pair that has to do for the same road is Canadian dollar JPY. The other JPY, NZD JPY, GBP JPY, Euro JPY has been doing that thing. Now, I want to explain something here, guys. If you understand well about correlation, you will agree with me on this. USD Swiss franc and Euro JPY, USD Swiss franc and Euro JPY, they have this kind of correlation that is opposite from each other. If you see USD Swiss franc buying, if you see USD Swiss franc buying big times, expect Euro JPY to be selling. Euro JPY, GBP JPY, but Euro JPY will be having more impact compared to GBP JPY. And it's not wonder if you see the same number of pips made, although they are moving in opposite direction. You can see USD Swiss franc made about 100 pips, but also you can see Euro JPY made about the same 100 pips. It was 93 pips, but it's actually the same number of pips. Now, if you want to know what is happening in Swiss franc and JPY, if you want to know what is happening or what will happen in Swiss franc and JPY, go direct to a pair called Swiss franc Japanese yen. You see, in Euro JPY and USD Swiss franc, you see Euro JPY and USD Swiss franc. You see, JPY is a quoted currency on Euro JPY. So in the pair of Euro JPY, let's come here. This is Euro JPY, guys. So this is Euro, this is Japanese yen. You see, Euro is a base currency, Japanese yen is a quoted currency. So if you are in mathematics, you can say this is a numerator and this is denominator. You see, guys? Now, this is a quoted currency. But also, you see, Swiss franc is also a quoted currency in USD Swiss franc pair. So this is base currency, Swiss franc is a quoted currency. Now, if you check USD Swiss franc, you see USD Swiss franc was buying big times, which means Swiss franc was weaker than USD. That's why USD was able to buy. USD Swiss franc was buying. That means base currency was stronger than this quoted currency, which is Swiss franc. But also, if you go to Euro JPY, you see Euro JPY was selling, which means Japanese yen was stronger, or quoted currency, which is Japanese yen, was stronger than base currency, which is Euro. Now, if you want to know, let's say now we have made our analysis on Friday, and it's weekend. You see, and you see now that the Euro JPY has to sell. Euro JPY is supposed to sell, which means Japanese yen should be strong than Euro in order for Euro JPY to sell. And now, in order for you to prove this scenario, if you want to prove this scenario with comparison to USD Swiss franc, to the strength of USD against Swiss franc, you have to take a look at Swiss franc Japanese yen. See, if you made analysis of Swiss franc Japanese yen on weekend, Friday, last weekend on Friday, or of course on Saturday or Sunday, you could have seen that Swiss franc Japanese yen, it has got a bearish setup. If Swiss franc Japanese yen has got a bearish setup, which means it was supposed to, because it was on sell zone, it was supposed to sell. If you see this kind of scenario and you go around all other Japanese yen pairs and you see that they have a bearish setup, that means you have to be very careful with Swiss franc pairs. Why? You see, if Swiss franc Japanese yen has to sell, that means Japanese yen is going to be strong against Swiss franc, and that means Swiss franc is going to be weak in many pairs, so that it to be sold and this setup to be in a bearish trend like this, as you can see. Which means, if you go back to USD Swiss franc, which means this scenario of USD Swiss franc here, the one that we have just explained, if we have already seen that Swiss franc Japanese yen has to sell, that means it's obvious that USD Swiss franc has to buy. Why? Because Swiss franc is going to be weak. Now, if Swiss franc is going to be weak, that means USD is going to buy against Swiss franc. It's going to be stronger against Swiss franc. That means USD Swiss franc has to go up. Guys, if you want to understand this is out of my experience. Wherever you see Euro JPY selling big times. Wherever you see GBP JPY selling big time. Wherever you see Swiss franc Japanese yen selling big times. Wherever you see NZD Japanese yen selling big times. Go back and take a look at USD Swiss franc. USD Swiss franc will be buying big times. This is out of experience, guys. This is out of experience. This is very powerful. This is quite different from when you take a look at Euro GBP. You know, if you want to understand what is going to happen on Euro pairs and GBP pairs, you have to take a look at Euro GBP, because it combines this Euro and GBP together. This Euro and GBP, you see, if you go to Euro USD, this Euro is base currency on Euro USD, and the GBP is base currency on GBP USD. So if you see, if you not understand well how to make analysis on Euro GBP, it will give you a full picture of what will happen on Euro pair, all Euro pairs and all GBP pairs. If you want to know what will happen on Swiss franc and Japanese pairs, just make analysis on Swiss franc Japanese yen. Guys, make analysis on Euro GBP, make analysis on Swiss franc Japanese yen, in order to know what will happen on Euro pairs and GBP pairs, and in order to know what will happen on Swiss franc pairs and Japanese pairs. Now, if you want to know what will happen on other pairs like AUD pairs and NZD pairs, take a look at AUD NZD. Take a look at AUD NZD. Now I'll come to explain more about AUD NZD, because AUD NZD is quite different from Euro GBP and Swiss franc Japanese yen scenario. It's quite different, guys. You can just use this. This is my strategy. I called it market switch, but I've just combined it with market makers codes because I see it work perfect well. All right, guys. I've just explained a little bit about this because I'm planning to prepare another video only for this package. How to make analysis on few major pairs, few main pairs, few important pairs, so that you can understand the direction of other pairs. So far you can just focus on Euro GBP in order for you to know what will happen to the Euro pairs and GBP pairs. You can also focus on Swiss franc Japanese yen in order to know what will happen on on GBP and JPY pairs and Swiss franc pairs. I believe if you guys are smart enough and make follow up on what I've just explained, I believe you guys are gonna be rich. I believe that you guys are gonna fall in love more and more with forex, because you're going to see the market. The market is going to be naked just right before your own eyes. You just see everything in the market. You will see how the market and what the market is going to do. You see, guys. So that's very important. That was question number 3. Now we are now coming back to the most important area, the most important part of this episode, and that is the best way to calculate your volume in the forex market, or the best lot size to use according to your capital. Guys, I want to explain about a proper lot size per capital. A proper lot size per capital. It's a question that I faced over 3 years ago. People have been asking, what kind of lot size can I use according to my capital? I have 1,000 USD. What lot size should I use? How many positions should I open? Today, I'm just going to answer that question, and you're going to love it, guys. You're going to love it. All right, guys. What a proper lot size. I have this simple way. This is a simple way. There is different ways of calculating lot size, but this is not something that is very complicated. It's very simple. It's very simple, guys. A proper lot size to use per capital. Now, in order for you to know a proper lot size to use per capital, please follow this formula. Take your capital divided by 100. Take your capital divided by 100. The answer you get divided by 100 again. The answer you get divided by 100 again. Now, for example, if your capital is 100 USD, means you just take your capital that is 1,000 USD, 1,000 USD divided by 100. That means you get 10. Now take that answer you got from the above, divided by 100 again. You take 10 divided by 100, you get 0.1. So this is the lot size to use. 0.1 will be a suitable lot size to use for your capital, for your 1,000 capital, 1,000 USD capital. Now, another question is, how many positions now should I open with the 0.1? Guys, listen to me very careful. This one is very powerful. With the 0.1 lot size, I advise you guys to open not more than 5 positions. Not more than 5 positions. But this is very important. But make sure the 5 positions are of different pairs. Remember, you have done your analysis using market makers codes. Now you have your 5 set up there. Make sure that the numbers of position you open, in the market are different. The number of position you open with the 0.1, make sure you open only 5, not more than 5 position. Why not more than 5? Because those 5 positions will never blow up your account. I tell you, I proved this. No matter how the market goes against you, it will not blow up your. Remember, this is based on market makers codes. Guys, do not apply this if you are not using market makers codes. Make sure your 5 position have used the market makers codes. And this is a way to calculate a proper lot size using market makers codes that will never blow up your account. I think guys, you have understood what I've just explained. Not more than 5. Make sure those 5 positions are out of market makers codes, are the setup that have been made out of market makers codes. And make sure the number of positions you open are not more than 5. Not only in this capital, even if you had 10,000, which means if you have 10,000 USD here, that means you have applied one lot size. That means, which means that you should not open more than 5 positions with standard lot of 1 if you had 10,000 USD. You understand what I mean? That means those five positions that you have opened with the standard lot of 1 should be different from each other. Should be different, guys. Different. Why different? Because if one position goes against you, the other 4 will go in the right direction. Remember, you can see what happened to USD Swiss franc. We had USD Swiss franc, you have Euro JPY, you have Euro USD. You can see Euro JPY went in the right direction, Euro USD went in the right direction, but USD Swiss franc went against us. So if we had 3 positions, that means we would have made good money out of Euro JPY and Euro USD, and the only one position, which is USD Swiss franc, would have brought us into that kind of loss. But we would have recovered, because you can see Euro JPY 93 pips, Euro USD 93 pips, only USD Swiss franc. If we have applied this stop loss, that means we are going to lose only 27 pips out of it. You can see, guys, it's very powerful. This is very powerful, guys, and I cannot wait for you guys to apply this and screenshot your result for me to see how far you have gone on this one. All right, guys, so this is very powerful. I believe you guys have got something out of this, and I believe that you will be ready for the next episode. You know, I have the numbers of episodes that are coming, guys, and I'm very super excited to make sure that you guys are equipped with a code and the right knowledge in this market, so that one day you'll never depend on my signal. You know, I'm selling signal, guys. I'm providing signal services. If you want to subscribe in my signal channel, you can see the announcement at the beginning of this episode. You can just subscribe with any package that you would like. We have 50,000 T-shillings per month, and the other packages are there. So, guys, for more information, remember to join our Telegram group. The link will be down here. Remember to join our Telegram group, and you come across a lot of traders who are using market makers codes and market makers methods to make a lot of money in the forex market. Guys, I'm very happy that I've done this video for you, and I believe that you guys are not gonna make any more mistakes. And you guys make sure that you keep following up on this, because there are still a number of things to cover on this strategy, market makers course. All right, guys, thank you very much. God bless you. See you at the top.